Well, if you, like everybody else, has been complaining about gas prices, it looks like we're going to have no relief soon. So this might be the car you want. 2020 Prius Prime plug-in hybrid. And this has every option available from the factory, what they call the upgrade package along with the technology package. So it's got 117,702 kilometers as it sits here today. Accident-free Carfax, 2 owners since new. Bought it from a local client who was moving out of Niagara Falls and relocating and couldn't take the car with him. So our gain is your gain too. So this is a nice car. The color is called Titanium Glow. Sort of a nice silvery with a hint of beige to it. Sort of a champagne color, I guess. Nice and clean. It's got 2 sets of wheels and tires. So these are the standard factory alloys with nice Michelin Defender all-season steel belted radials. Lots of tread on those. And we also have a set of winters, which I'll show you in a moment. Now you'll notice across the front, I should say, this line. This is what they call a paint protection film. This covers that full front edge of the nose of the hood, and really helps prevent bug damage, stone chips, etc. You'll notice this has again with the technology package all the parking assist with parking assist sensors wrapping around both front and rear bumpers with intelligent park assist. It also gives you things like clearance sensors. So it senses, for example, maybe you're backing up and there's a country road and there's a rock or a stump or something that might damage your bumper. It'll actually warn you. So again, it's got some really neat technology. Now we've got daytime running lights, which are off right now. Those are LED strips that run up and down the side. We've got LED fog lamps with the technology package, and then we have LED headlights. Okay, those 4 sort of jeweled headlights in the front. So extremely good night visibility. These light up the road like nobody's business. We have advanced radar, dynamic cruise control. In behind that Toyota symbol, there is a radar sensor that's reading what's going on the road ahead of you. That in conjunction with a camera system that's up here in the dash, and that's also reading what's going on the road. Just a lot of neat things. So it has what they call the Advanced Safety Sense Plus. And then with that, for example, adaptive cruise control is pretty straightforward. Once it's set, you can set trailing distances from the vehicles ahead of you on the highway, and it will maintain that gap. So depending on your comfort level, the speed and traffic, etc., you can choose how far and how close you want to be to that car ahead of you on the highway. And this will go all the way down to a full stop. So if traffic stops and then starts to crawl ahead, it'll automatically pick that up and again maintain all those distances. It also has sort of collision avoidance and mitigation technology. So between the radar sensor and what's going on with that camera system up front, not only will it detect things like cars, but even has pedestrian and cyclist detection, even larger animals. So again, you're out cruising on a country road, maybe late at night, a deer pops out, this will probably catch that motion and potential collision before you do, and it'll start jamming on the brakes. So it may not prevent the accident depending on how close it is. Nothing's foolproof, perfect, but again, with the mitigation, it'll definitely reduce the collision damage, if not eliminate it. And again, some great safety technology. We have, in addition to that, things like the blind spot monitoring inside the mirrors on both sides. You'll see that little symbol there that lights up with a bright amber color when somebody is in your back sort of blind spot area in behind the car here. And it also has what they call rear cross traffic assist, and this is all accomplished with, again, additional radar sensors that are roughly in this area and behind the bumper, that are again designed to pick up motion in behind the car. So it's not only for lane assist, but it also has what they call rear cross traffic assist. So again, it picks up motion coming laterally from behind the car. So imagine yourself backing out of a laneway in the wintertime with tall snowbanks with limited visibility, parking lots, you're backing out of a tight parking lot and somebody's racing between the aisles looking for a spot. It'll pick up that motion, even somebody pushing a grocery cart, and it even has active braking to help prevent a collision in that situation. So pretty slick stuff. We talked earlier about the second set of tires. You'll see a nice set of steel wheels with Michelin X-Ice, so Michelin tires on all four corners, both for summer and winter. That's all included. Standard sort of what they call a solar tinted glass. One thing that's needed, when you roll down the windows on these, you'll see on the front, and as well, you can't see it on the windshield, but it's what they call acoustically laminated glass. So it's a sandwich, much like you have a laminated window in your home, you know, sometimes a double or even a triple pane for heat and, you know, efficiency. This is more for acoustic, again, locking out noise on the outside. So it will, again, keeps it considerably quieter inside by reducing that noise. And of course, you've got that nice wedge-shaped design, so very, very aerodynamic. Also reduces wind noise along with helping to improve fuel economy. Getting back to fuel economy, of course, these are hard to beat. These are rated at 4.3 liters per 100 kilometers on a combined city highway cycle, and that's equivalent to almost 55 miles per gallon in the old MPG world. Now, my son Cameron drives a very similar car. It doesn't have the technology package, but it's a 2020 Prius hybrid. You know, and he lives, gosh, it's about a 20-minute drive to and from work. So I'd say it's about, 15-20 kilometers each way to home. And again, he does it all on electric. He says, you know, except if it's extreme cold, you might lose a little bit of battery and the engine will kick on. But he can drive full electric to work and back. And then he plugs in at night to recharge. And the nice thing with these is they have a adaptive charging system that you can set the charge time. So, for example, if you want to really save on your electricity bill, again, you can see, you know, he sets it for 11 o'clock at night. It only takes 5.5 hours on regular 110 voltage. It has a full plug-in here. And if you pop open the lid here, you'll see the actual charge port goes in there. Now on 240 volt, if you want to go to an upgraded charger, again, it'll cut that in less than half that time. But overnight charging makes sense, right? That's when power is the cheapest, and again, considerable savings over fuel with that. So between that and the extremely good fuel economy, this is the way to go, in my opinion, if you want to save fuel. Full electrics, nice, but you know, when you're on that extended trip, long trip, you know, you're not going to be able to go typically past much more than, you know, 350, 400 kilometers with most electrics these days. So the idea of the gas and plug-in hybrid is the way to go, in my opinion. All LED lighting in the back, so across that strip, and LED brake lights. Again, we've got the park assist sonar in the back, backup camera. Let's jump inside here for a closer look. One thing, again, nice cool mirrors with sort of silver accents. Again, you've got the auto dimming, and then you've got the blind spot monitoring, cross traffic assist as well. So courtesy lights within the doors. So you open the doors, it illuminates everything for nighttime. This upgrade package comes with a real nice JBL. You may have noticed that little JBL symbol there in the speaker in behind that window. You can see that there. JBL makes some great audio, and this is a 10-speaker system with an upgraded DSP, or digital signal processing amplifier, higher powered, higher quality speakers, so it pumps out the sound very, very nicely. Full power group, windows, door locks, and mirrors, naturally. You got speakers in the door, nice big pockets, sort of tall sleeve for bottle holders. 10-way power adjustable seat. A 6-way adjuster here for the lower cushion that sort of rocks and lifts and tilts and does all the 6 different motions. Power reclining, and then a power lumbar support at the very back there for your lower back support. Active head restraints, so these help reduce whiplash. We've got airbags within the seats over all 4 windows, what they call side curtain airbags. We've got knee airbags for a driver, what they call a lower cushion airbag for the passenger, and then frontal airbags within the steering column and over the sort of top dash on the passenger side. So let's go inside. Now, another neat feature when you get into this model is what they call head-up display. I'm going to zoom in here, and you can sort of see that little LED icon in there, and that's full color. But you've got right now it's telling us our 282 kilometer range based on our fuel load. and what we're averaging. That'll change, of course, as you're going, and gives you a speedometer display. But when you have your navigation all set up, it'll display info there. Again, it's got all kinds of neat things that it'll display up there. Any other warnings as well. Over on the side here, we've got our auto on-off headlights, fog lights, with that little inner rocker switch. Of course, we have an automatic mode for automatic setup. Tilt and telescopic wheel, leather-covered steering wheel that's heated, along with the heated seats, heated steering wheel, so that makes for a very comfortable driving experience. Over here, let's just sort of open this up. It's a little light. But you'll see a hood release down below, fuel door release. This is, again, for setting up the timer system for electronic charging. That's that little button there. I'll take my zoom off there. Sorry, I forgot about that. HUD is your head-up display. Again, you can turn that off if you don't wish to have that up in the glass. But it's nice because all your pertinent information is right in the windshield, so it reduces any focus time when you have to look down at the instrument panel to see that. Auto headlights, or auto on high beams, I should say. When auto high beam is on, of course, it senses cars coming towards you and then passing by you, and it will automatically turn on or dim your high beam so you're not blinding other drivers. And that's important when you've got headlights this bright. You've got, of course, your dimmer control, automatic parking assist. Again, this will, if you're somewhat challenged with parking, this will auto park the car. You have to read the manual to learn how it works, but it's quite neat technology. And then we've got vehicle dynamic control, and this is both a combined sort of traction control, all-speed traction control, as well as anti-skid control. It does some really cool things with the four-wheel anti-lock disc braking system. If you're going into a corner too fast and maybe hit some ice and you're starting to slide or lose control, it will actually do things like cross-corner braking and braking up to 24 times per second to sort of straighten out that skid and allow you to maintain your steering control. So some great technology. Cruise control is tucked in here, as you'll see with most Toyotas and Lexus models. And you've got a whole array of buttons across here, so volume control, station control, mode, where you change from AM to FM to satellite radio, or I've got CarPlay hooked up there now with my phone, so it has Apple CarPlay as well. Phone controls, voice controls, trip odometer, and then we get into other sort of multifunction controls. And there's two nice big screens up top here. And you'll see a bunch of information, of course, your speedometer, the odometer there, 117,700, average fuel economy, your fuel level, and then you'll see these little buttons there, green lights lighting up, eco mode and EV mode. So there's actually 3 different drive modes. And if you go down below here, you'll see them here. There's kind of an HV and an EV mode and an EV auto mode. So EV is a full electronic mode, so you're running just on your battery. EV auto is sort of a hybrid between HV, high efficiency, and then the EV mode, where again you're using both your gas engine and your electric motor to really give you peak efficiency and range for most situations. So depending on the type of driving you're doing, that's how you do it. Power button here, that's your push button start stop. These are an intelligent smart key, of which we have both of them. There's again both smart keys there. When you come up, you just touch the door handles, they unlock. You come inside, foot on the brake, hit the power button, and away it starts. So real simple to operate. Tilt and telescopic steering, I think I mentioned that. You've got full variable delay wipers with a rain sensor. There's another sensor in behind up here that's reading precipitation, rain, snow, sleet, anything like that. When you're in the auto mode on your wipers, you can still sort of fine-tune the variable delay, but what it does is, as the rain picks up or your speed picks up, it will automatically increase the swipes, the frequency of your windshield wipers, so you're not constantly adjusting as much. So again, some real slick technology there as well. And then we've got the radar, cruise control, additional buttons here. So this one here is what you use to set your range behind the vehicle ahead of you on the highway based on your comfort level. This one activates or deactivates your excuse me, lane assist and lane departure assist. So if you're departing from the lane, it will actually sort of push the steering wheel and sort of edge it back in. again, some people find that kind of creepy. You have to get used to it because it is different at first, but it works very well. And but some people don't like it, and you can turn it off easily. So again, you do have manual overrides for all of these controls. That's your heated steering wheel switch there. Now we've got the nice big screen here as well. You can see that's the standard GPS navigation from Toyota, and then it does have Apple CarPlay as well, as I mentioned. You've got full climate control or auto climate control air conditioning. For example, if I just touch the climate button, up pops your screen here. Where you can these are all sort of push buttons, so you can hit all the various combinations, increase your fan speed, lower your temperature from here. Eco mode, again, it's just more efficiency for better fuel economy. And then again, the sort of a microcosm of your settings. And then we get into, for example, your phone settings or your media selection. Right now, I did have my phone hooked up, but let's go back here to sort of a CarPlay projection mode. Oh, somehow that got unplugged. My apologies here. Let me just plug in my phone here quickly. Okay, we are back. My apologies there. I realized the problem was with my cable. I had an old iPhone cable that was intermittently cutting in and out, and that's why I lost my CarPlay feed. Anyways, as you can see here right now, up top, this is my maps from Google Maps showing. Well, let's go back to the main menu. So that's sort of the CarPlay main menu, as you'll see it there. I'm getting some funny glow. That's not on the screen, it's from the camera. I think it's just the light right now. It's right at dusk. So again, you're seeing your main menu here, where you can select from your maps, your music, etc. All your phone. You can do hands-free texting, everything through your smartphone apps, right on the screen. Of course, you do have the main screen as well, but before we go there, we'll just sort of look again at the climate control screen. Again, you can jump to your music selection, your climate, as we talked about earlier, your smartphone. If you go back to the home button here, we're going back to the factory navigation screen there now. So again, you get to choose between your layouts and what you prefer. I kind of like the smartphone apps, because the maps, number one, are always updated. You're never dealing with a map that's 5-6 years old. I mean, you can get these updated at the Toyota dealerships, but like everything else, you pay for it, right? It's probably an hour and a half labored for them to plug it into their computer and upload the software, and before you're out the door, it's $250 or something crazy. Your smartphone maps, whether it's Google or Apple Maps or Waze, they're updated every time your smartphone updates overnight. So it's the way to go. Number two, with smartphone apps, you have real-time traffic data. It's going to tell you if there's slowdowns, traffic jams, give you rerouting options for the fastest way to get to your destination. It'll also give you warnings of police noted on the highway with radar guns, or there's an accident ahead, or a truck on the shoulder. So all that is again nice. Nice features. I just put it in park there. That's what the click was. Again, we have also volume controls. Everything's touch on here, so which makes it real simple. And of course, you've got alternate controls right off the steering wheel as well. So in behind there, again, we've got obviously your high-low heated seats for driver passenger. Nice big drink holders. 12-volt power plug, a USB port, and that little round one there is what they call an auxiliary audio input. Some of the older MP3 players or iPods, those sort of things, will use that device. And then there's a release here. Where is it? Oh, right there. Pushing the wrong side. There's again a little tray up top there, and you'll see that opens up. It's kind of getting dark here, so it's illuminating very well. But it's quite deep. This goes way down. Probably about 8-9 inches deep, so lots of space under that center armrest. Now, take my glasses out of the way here. 2 smart keys are here. And one thing I always try to do, especially with these later model vehicles, is sort of give you a reference point of what these were. And this is, granted, 5-6 years ago, this had a base cost for the Prius Prime upgrade of $34,900. It has an optional $3,000 technology package with the JBL system, blind spot, as you can see, all the stuff there, heads-up display, etc. That was $3,000. The extra wheels and Michelin tires, for wintertime, $1,100. Then you always had the freight, PDI, and dealer sort of fees. And then it also had that hood paint protection film. All things said and done, after even with your air conditioning tax, but not including HST, this was just shy of $42,000 brand new. So that's interesting. You have Carfax here. Again, it's showing no accident, no damage records. Lots of service history, primarily at Toyota dealers, but he also dealt with a local mechanic that I often use as well. And up top here we have auto-dimming rear view mirror. You have home link, universal garage door openers. You may have noticed these little contraptions on the back of the mirrors. These are sort of slide out, sort of shade extenders. And then of course sliding open the mirror cover activates the overhead lamp for illuminated visor mirrors. We have individual sort of spotlights on each side here. You have the sort of sunglasses holder, overhead lighting. Of course, I've got my spots on there now, but normally you're going to sort of leave that in the middle position, and then it sort of, you get that slow fade in, fade out with your illuminated entry system. So we talked earlier about frontal airbags. So you've got dual stage frontal airbags, driver's side, passenger side, above the glove compartment. And these will operate at two different levels based on the amount of impact energy. So there's very sophisticated sensors that read the amount of impact force in any given accident and will either not turn the airbag on if it's very low speed, or if it's a sort of a mediocre where it feels airbags are going to be helpful, boom, it's going to set them off at the low speed, and then a real high impact, high speed crashes, it'll go off at the higher level. And a further thing they've done is put what they call a classification system. So there's sensors in the seat here that read the weight of the occupant and won't turn on that airbag if the weight is under about 90 to 95 pounds. So it's sort of registering, it's designed for adults, right? Somebody in that sort of pushing 100 pounds plus range. So if kids are sitting in here, it turns it off and keeps it safe for them, because airbags are not designed for kids, they're designed for full-grown adults. We've got both the smart keys here. I mentioned the other books and stuff. We have additionally, again, hard to see in this light, but height adjustable seat belts, and they have collision pre-tensioning. So also linked to the airbags where they will tighten and automatically take the slack out of the seat belts. We've got those side impact airbags within the seats themselves, and overhead we have curtain airbags that drop down from front and rear windows on both sides. And then in addition to that, what they call lower cushion airbag and knee airbags. Very, very safe vehicles. If you were to peel back the door skins on these or remove all the inner panels, you'd also see big sort of pipe style beams within here. High strength roof, it's double steel reinforced. These will hold over 2.5 times the vehicle's weight on its roof. So again, the roof is not going to crush. High strength steel pillars and front, middle, and back. So very, very well set up. Now, so second fuel door. This is the actual gas door. Of course, on the other side, it was the electronic gas. One neat thing they have with the electric plug-in, I didn't mention, but if you lock it with your smart key as you're leaving, even if it's plugged in, it will actually lock the cable, especially if you're parked outdoors, so that somebody can't come by and steal it. So it actually locks the cable in the receptacle. You'll see in the back of the driver's seat a nice big pocket. We've got two more sort of smart charging ports for a USB. Now if you were to crawl under the seats themselves, you'd see heat and air conditioning vents blowing into the back. We've got a flip-up center armrest. 3 across seating, so we got a total of 5 passenger seating. And if you sort of open up this little Velcro fastener, you'll see the anchor points for child seats. So latch or Isofix, that's really the European equivalent, will work with these. And then you have a split 60-40 fold down. Your tether strap anchors are right in the back here for the child seats. And then say decent leg room. You've got a soft touch release underneath here. Now inside here is the standard charging cable. This is designed for just your regular household plug-in 110 volt. Now you can get an alternate 240 volt, higher powered if you're looking for real fast charging. Most people, I think, will get away with this and just do overnight charging. Keeps it simple. These are kind of cool. They get little pop-out sort of bag holders, so you can suspend things so things aren't rolling around. It's got 2 sets of floor mats, the carpeted mats as well as the accessory winter mats. Inside this little plastic bucket is the extra set of wheel nuts for the winter wheels. Underneath here there's extra storage. Under here, of course, you've got the battery in the back, and this is a big lithium-ion battery. Now, Toyota extended the warranty shortly after this was introduced in 2020, and they extended the warranty on all their hybrid and plug-in hybrids to a 10-year, 230,000 kilometer battery warranty. I know that's always a concern because you hear some horror stories with some other manufacturers of what the batteries actually cost if they go. So you still got lots of coverage. In my opinion, if you're going to buy a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid, stick with Toyota and Lexus. They invented this space. They just don't have problems with their batteries. And I can't say that for everybody else. Now, let's, last but not least, we'll pop the hood here. Open this up. Quiet as a church mouse. And that's the nice thing with this, the engine will only come on when needed. Now these use a really high efficiency, what they call a Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder. It's a 1.8 liter double overhead cam, direct injected, no turbocharging or anything, but of course it all works really in parallel with the hybrid traction motor. Easy access. You'll see the things like your fluids, oil dipstick. This is engine coolant. New battery was put in last year. You can see that on the Carfax. Again, any of those orange cables, those are all not high tension, what's the word I'm looking for, but high voltage lines. So again, one thing you want to do with these is make sure that somebody has hybrid training on these if they're working on it. Whether you go to a Toyota dealer, obviously they do, but a lot of independents now have been trained, and there's lots of training courses out there for the industry for hybrids. So, and the nice thing with Toyotas is they don't need much servicing. And that's why you see these in taxi service. Niagara Falls Taxi regularly use these, and I've seen these guys come in and they got 500,000-600,000 kilometers on them, and they're still going strong. So you can't beat it, and if you want to beat the prices at the pump, this is what you need. I'm Steve with CarSmart. Thank you for watching.